Okay, I've got notes. Okay, last episode, I removed the tank and cleaned it up, and that went pretty well. This episode, I put the tank back in. New pump, new hoses. All of the hoses were cracked, including the filler neck, so all that got replaced. One of the things about this episode is that it didn't really go very smooth. I ended up putting the tank in and taking it out several times. Because of that, this episode is very long, and it may be that in some cases it goes from me having the tank in to having the tank out, back to having the tank in. I could edit this thing such a way that it makes it look like I did it the first time around, but that's not particularly accurate. So you'll see all my mistakes. I was able to get almost everything I needed at the auto parts store all at once, which was nice. I'm going to start here with the fuel pump. One of the things I noticed as I was a minute ago off camera, here's the ground for the pump, and I reached up and touched the wire, and you can see it's broken off. So why would the fuel pump not run? Right here, amongst other things. I mean, it was so rusty it wouldn't have done any good even if it had run, but this is a good thing, so it's a good thing we cleaned it out anyway. The only thing that really holds the pump in place is this hose. There we go. There's the pump. I'm looking at this now, though, and I'm concerned that the wiring is, it's going to be difficult because the ground wire is super short, and they're both riveted onto the housing so that the wires don't have to pass through the top, which I like, but I need to see if they're any good. Okay, so ground. Okay, power. This one I could probably do pretty easy. I realize there's a flaw in my camera system now. I'm going to try to grab these in such a way that as I pinch it, it's going to crush in on itself. Now I'm going to squeeze it this way. Just a little. Oh! I sort of anticipated this kind of thing. This kind of thing happens. But not all is not lost. Let's see. I don't want it to touch anything. These are brass, by the way, so they should last a long time. I'm actually going to put 2 nuts on this thing. The tail of this wire is a little too close to that for my preference. Nice. The idea is to turn them against each other. So I'm going to hold this one in place. After I Alright, I think that's all it needs. Alright. Be careful with this stuff. Moment of truth. Got me a 12-volt power supply. Okay, make sure we get the right one on the right one. Yep. Perfect. In fact, really not. I don't know if this would be any good whatsoever. It went pretty good yesterday until right at the end. Done a couple of things to make it a little easier today. Taking the wheels off. I took the hoses off the tank. I really did not want to get in there and have to hook those hoses up with the tank in place, but it looks like that's the only way to do it. I took the a Scotch-Brite pad and sanded the end of the tank connections to make them smooth so that the hoses will slip on there a little easier. I hope that'll help. And I got another little trick up my sleeve to get those hoses on there. I'll show y'all in a bit. I think at this point I've committed to the car, though. I can tell you that. There's no way I'm putting this gas tank in this much trouble and then not getting this thing running one way or the other. If the engine has to come out, then the engine has to come out too. So. Remember how I said I was going to go slow? Now that I know how to get that thing up in there, and that it's got to go ass first. Let's back it up. Back the truck up. Start back over. Now that we know how to do it. Now that we know it'll go. Let's not be afraid to change the plan a third time. Okay. All right. Well, we're in good shape now. Right here in this section of the video, the background noise is so loud you can't hear anything I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying in this. What I'm explaining is that I'm finally got, I get the tank in, I get it all hooked up, and the pump doesn't run. I tried to tilt the front of the tank down and get my hands in there and see if it was just like a wiring problem on the outside of the tank. It wasn't. It was inside the tank. Well, there you go. This one's on me. Yeah, when I had it out before, I worked carefully, tried to work carefully on this wire. Yeah, this is the other end of this one was the one that was broke. So, I really should have replaced both. But at the time, I was thinking, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's broke now, so gotta fix it. So I'm gonna like a little new jumper wire and run a bolt through, just like I did the other one. So, yeah. That camera around here in a second. Show you how I did it. You can't see it from where you're at. All right. I really wanted to be able to put the tank in, as I said in the video, with the hoses on. But in the end, the last time I put the tank in, I found it easier just to put the tank in without the hoses and then connect the hoses afterwards. Yeah, you can squeeze it in there with the hoses on, but it's not the most efficient way to do it. You spend more time doing that than you will just hooking it up in the car. It's really not that bad once you kind of get over the fact that you're not going to be able to see what you're doing, and you're going to have to lay on your back and unless you've got a lift, I suppose. If you've got a lift, it might be easier. But honestly, I don't know that it would be. But yeah, the secret to putting the tank in is that there really is no secret. You just have to get it in there, and you have to hook the hoses. Damn it, every time I do this, I gotta pee. I don't actually be able to expect catch anything here. I mean, it's still gonna get everywhere, but maybe I can kind of mitigate the amount that goes just everywhere. Ha! Alright. All that. 10 seconds to test. Maybe something, maybe nothing. At one point, the starter quit working. I don't know why. So I ran a jumper wire from the a junction under the dash up and over the car and into the engine compartment, and then into the relay directly.
That's your solution?
Well, it's temporary. Yeah. At some point, after not the throttle body, the flapper. At some point after the flapper blew off, I realized that the spark plug wires weren't in the right place. They were mixed up, which is what shot the flapper valve off, right? And at some point between then and where we are in the video now, it's been corrected. Now, I had them off a couple of times, so I don't know if it came that way to me or if I messed them up. But I did decide to check, and when I checked, they're labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. I double checked in my manual 1, 2, 3, cylinders 1, 2, 3, and 4, and made sure they were all going in the right place. And after that, after that, this happened.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Did you hear that? It did it.
It did it. I was smoking a little.
It absolutely did it.
It did.
Son of a bitch.
So what about the smoke?
Run. That's just smoke.
That's just smoke. Okay. So we're not worried about it. That little backfire that it did earlier.
Boom.
That was something.
It did it. It ran.
Mm-hmm.
It ran.
I know.
It didn't even sound bad.
Now, why did it stop running? Was that you stopping it, or?
That's because I'm giving it starter fluid.
Ooh, it smells bad.
It ran. It ran.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, after all of that, even if it only ran maybe 1 or 2 puffs, but in order to do that, the ignition system has to be functioning, at least a little bit. So that's good, right? And I know my pump is working, but I don't know. Everything's not working because I'm still not getting fuel. It's taking starter fluid to make it run. So that's the next episode. And in the next episode, I'll get the rest of the injection system functioning, and we'll see if it runs. So I hope that answers all the questions. If you've made it to this far of the video, I really appreciate that. If you'd like to hear more, you know what to do about that. Thank you very much.